you got to go down a rabbit hole, and if you don't go down a rabbit hole, if you don't grab onto a string, you're never going to find the sweater. Know that everything is energy and atoms, and just convert it to freaking energy. You know what I mean? Like, just, you don't even got to work out, just be aware of your joints right here, from like where your joints, and just like, just be, just high. Like, people levitate, people walking on hot coals don't get burned. It's like a holographic multiverse that we're living in. It's infinite consciousness. The world, let's talk about the world. Like, it's not solid. To realize the illusion that we are in, the five senses, the electromagnetic spectrum, you can't get lost in any of these things. The GPS is 50 years back from when the first time it even came out to like the public, just to pinpoint a mother, to smithereens. Almost everything is just military stuff that 50, 60 years later makes it. Like, who knows when drones were created? Like freaking 80 years ago, probably. The real war going on is between the decentral and the centralized system. Manifest Destiny, for instance, is straight up genocide. When America came over here and they went from the 13 colonies, and they started migrating all the way, like just pushed to the West Coast, killed a bunch of Indians. Till this day, like, they're mistreating the people. Know the good and the bad. There are you can talk to Jewish people, like from Israel, from all over the world, people from all over, from everywhere. And the people who know will tell you that even people in Israel are against Zionist, and Zionism is not good. Like, Rothschild Zionism is not good. Like, like Mr. David Icke said, this is the thing that you don't say, and I'm gonna freaking say it. But my point is, that's the beauty of life, man. That's why I'm always like, Adam and Eve better not have belly buttons, man, because it's like, that's the stories of, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Chickens came first, man. Somebody just plopped the chicken down and said, boom, have some eggs. God made the devil, and the devil fell, but God knew that he was gonna fall. So it's like, he washes his dishes, so everything is like fucking perfect, right? Like, excuse me, like, so that's how I think about it. So I'm just like, you're just like, I'll be looking at the devil, like, bro, you're just God's proxy. Like, you just be washing his dishes. Like, my man doesn't wash his dishes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's going on over here, right? We're not immortal. We're not perfect. We're not good, we're not bad, we're balanced, right? Bear with me. Take the yin and yang. You have the black, you have the white, and of course we have gray areas, but we can't have too much white, too much black, because it's like, we need a balance. Whether you're the white dot in the black or the black dot in the white, trying to disbalance stuff, you're not gonna achieve what it is you want to achieve, because everything is perfect in the eyes of whatever made everything. What came first, the chicken or the egg, right? And we're gonna get to what Kanye West, what a lot of people are talking about, what the system. I'm gonna try to dive into as much as off the top of my head from everything I've learned. I've watched the David Icke video a couple of times. I've heard of what Kanye said, and like I said, bear with me. I know he's talked about some crazy stuff. Where I come in is where he's talking about Jewish people, which are not all Jewish people are evil, obviously, or control the media in any kind of like sense, or and in any malignant form. But there is you know what I mean? Like, you have to see it for yourself. Now, like I said, not all Jewish people are like, not all any kind of people. Like, I'm from Mexico, not all Mexican people are evil, right? But at the same time, let's look at, and then I was like, I gave him some time. That was in 3 months, 4 months ago. And I was like, all right, let's see what else he talks about. So basically, like, for instance, manifest destiny. We learn in school that, it's the great migration, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that is genocide. It's a euphemism. Manifest destiny is straight up euphemistic for genocide. And I'm not saying, Hitler was good, but I'm not saying like, so you got to make up your mind. There's good and there's bad, and I'm all over the place. Excuse me, but I'm gonna try to like just bleh, for my own, I got to do it my way, right? So like connect the dots. There's a lot, and even you think you got it all figured out. Take 10 steps back and look again, because the picture gets bigger. Like I said, for instance, like the chicken came first. Adam and Eve better not have belly buttons. That means somebody just put a chicken here and then all of a sudden started making eggs. My point is, manifest destiny. We are taught that in school. I'm going to try to stick to the facts here, right? We're taught manifest destiny in school. And we're taught like that it's good, quote unquote, from my understanding. This is all from my understanding and from what I have gathered and, my point of view of the world, if you will. And obviously Hitler, we were taught that in school a lot. I was, I mean, not a lot, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely like prevalent, like, they teach you about, the whole thing and whatnot, and it was bad. And, but like, maybe he was just evil, but we need the good and the bad. Like I said, like the yin and the yang. You can't have one without the other. So you need to balance that out in yourself too, right? You need to look at what inner voice, those judgments. It's just, like I said, God, I believe in God. I believe in good. Everything. There's many religions. You have to know how to die like Jesus and Buddha, right? Like those are my two of the biggest dudes, right? In religions, philosophies, so to speak. And I know there's like a balance, for instance, like a hocus pocus Halloween Town type of like, like there's bad people, but they're not evil. For instance, I want to live in this world too, where all life is good and all death is evil. But not all life is good and not all death is evil. I'm going to die one day and I'm not 100% evil. I'm not 100% good. I like to think it's 50-50. You catch my drift? So I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And when he started talking about, I was just like, Kanye's being Kanye and, whatnot. But he started talking about like big media and, for instance, not all Jewish people are Rothschild Zionists, right? I'm not going to name too many names, but, Rockefellers and all the. So anyways, it's against the Illuminati. I'm straight up against that. And, there has to be good people in there and whatnot. I don't know what's their point. Like, why are you trying to do all this control? But my point is, we have no control. We have no free will, but we do. If you balance it out. It's an illusion in our world. I believe it's my point of view that self or free will is just, it's just to their, who knows what's going on, right? Everything's too perfect. The Fibonacci's, the everything. From our veins to the star clusters, it just looks the same. I think it was the biggest picture of a neuron. And if you want to indulge me in all these crazy things, like, and I'm gonna bring it all to this channel because I have too many channels. I'm gonna just conglomerate them, just group them together into Alchemist Prime and Luis Arturo Mingura. Thank God I'm getting paid now, which is why I waited 3 months. I don't want to make a damn video. I was just like, man, I got a little peeved. And like, for instance, I put up the Kanye video and I didn't know about Reeves content and everything. So my point is, sticking to the facts, I was like, people, because I posted the Kanye video and it got hella views, obviously, right? Because they took it down. I was watching it. This is what happened. I was watching the video. Drink Champs, it's lit, right? Love you guys. Shout out. CHAKRA. Anyways, but my point is, in the future, who knows? But I was watching it and they took it down and I was just like, what the hell? And I was just like, whoa, that means like something's going on, Greg. Because I was like halfway in. And I was like, so I posted it, and it's just I just I was very ignorant on and I try to apply for monetization, and obviously they did and everything. I waited until January 21st to have the copyright down and everything. So I was just like, I knew I milked the shit out of it, right? So and but I was just straight up on the comments like, you know just trying to enlighten people. If you know, you know. And it's just crazy to me how like they they do try to censor you, which is why I'm trying to keep it to the facts, because I can just literally dissect all these peoples and families, and because about them, like I said a couple names a couple minutes ago, where they have centers in New York and all this. It's beautiful, right? I wish I wish I would have that one day, but I'm not. It's a balance. Like it's, and this is a very abstract thing, like a Batman. Like how he ended up being the villain, and it's weird. When you really, that's why you need to like just take care of yourself and everybody around you. But at the same time, it's like you need to watch out for who you don't mess with. Like, and I'm very weird, and what I'm trying to tell you is, like, for instance, I would go up to somebody, and the person, the dude, it doesn't matter, male or female, would mentally like just say something bad. I can, you can hear sometimes that inner voice, and I'm not gonna like say hi, and then all of a sudden they come up and they're like, I'm just gonna like, just like get away from me. Like, there's no filters here. So it's like life is too short for that. And the control that, if for instance, during the pandemic, the control the media has, like, let's try to stick to the facts, right? Of because I can go on about, like, I'm just trying to give you some context here. So, and I don't want you to trust me. I just want you to because anybody can hold the light, and if you don't know who they are, all you see was the light, and you'd be like, oh shit, like, I can see now, right? So you got to be careful who's holding the light. So stuff like that. So my point is, the video got taken down, and I was in like shock, and I was just like, it's lit, because I knew exactly what was going down, right? Like, it's because people are always like, the world is rigged, the system is rigged, and this and that. So it's just big media, and I'd like to think that it's not like this, but for the most part, maybe it is, and who knows, but there always is a balance, and this is kind of like a warning, but they know this, and you can't disbalance it, it's just not possible. For instance, if you're scared of nuclear war, it's not gonna happen. They don't let kids run with scissors in the universe anymore. It's simple. Think about it. They don't let kids run with scissors in the universe anymore. If the atom is part of multi dimensions, because it's like, we didn't just destroy, those two cities. We destroyed, who four, because it's those two, and then, like, what if they're connected? It's possibilities. We're made out of atoms. We think. So it's like, just feel comfortable, like you were born and you're going to die. So just feel comfortable. Be who it is that you want to be. Don't be scared of your potential. Even if you just, it's part of the balance. It's all said and done. God knew that an angel was going to fall and become his, and that supposedly that's our perception of it, right? There's a good and the bad, and the God and the devil, and we need to wash God's dishes right, whether we are on the bad side or we're on the good side. We need to make sure stuff is balanced. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid. Be comfortable. And know where evil is, and be balanced for everyone out there. Because if you, and I'm obviously talking to the good people, but if you're a bad person, like, karma is a beautiful thing. Sometimes I might sound bad, sometimes I might sound good, and it doesn't matter how I am viewed and perceived, because I know the karmatic equations. I'm starting to realize the things that we do have consequences, whether it's good or bad. And you can literally have robbed a candy from a little kid from a store, or literally killed somebody. You could be like the there's good and the bad, and then there's like the worst, and then there's like the best, and there's like there's balance everywhere, right? But it doesn't matter what you do, people are going to hate you for who you can be. A school teacher, or Hitler, you know what I mean? Like the Mother Teresa, like everybody has haters. Be what you love, right? Love. There's love in the bad and in the good. And this all ties into the control that the media and basically like what we watch, the world outside of us. Like, how do we know about what's going on? Our phones, TV, the media. It's what we trust. It's what we believe it. People are used to doo-doo, cow shit, excuse my language. If you go to a farm, you're like, oh God, for the first time, what is this? People are like, I don't know what you're talking about. It smells pretty good out here to me. Doesn't matter. You can get used to it. You can get used to a lot of things. And we have been desensitized. We have been handing over a lot of our control. This comes, this like Snowden, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, all these things, Manning. I understand safety for all of the people on planet Earth. And I understand when you're trying to use that against us. And when I say you, and there's a couple people out there who are just like, good. I would love the consequences of anything because I'm ready, right? Say, for instance, I get taken out tomorrow. I would like to think that it's everyone's 5 minutes of everyone's happiness. It doesn't matter what happens. If I post this video or not, this is the stuff I spew on the daily, especially when people are when it comes to subjects like the big media. Like I said, many more videos to come. This is just kind of like my rant type of and I do want to like I said, I'm taking all my High Alchemist videos and a couple other of my channels and putting them onto here. So I'm going to remake a lot of my videos of High Alchemist and just kind of like section them down into sections, and you know what I mean? Just all the good stuff. If you want to go watch High Alchemist, do that, please. I would greatly appreciate it. And then just subscribe to all my channels, you know what I'm saying? But Alchemist Prime and Luis Arturo Mingura, I think, are going to be my top 2 channels. And, I spew this on the daily of the media's control. For instance, when it, in conversation, like how our system works. We have 5 senses, right? It's all the 5 senses, and just everything is from just that. I mean, see, this is where I'm like coming into like, but I'm like, just like, I have no patience sometimes, so I'm like not perfect, so I'm just like, you got to hone into your senses, you got to hone into your senses. I get very mad at people that aren't honing into their senses, and I shouldn't, but it's just like, you got to keep going. It's like my evolution is just like, I'm over here and you're like over there, and I'm just like, I don't have time to teach everything. So this is why I make videos like this, and I'm fearless against like that said control or whatever. Like, I give no power to evil and to all the people on this planet who might be controlled by evil and all that. Like, for instance, we don't think about our breath. It's your reptilian brain right now. Each person on this planet, you're not even thinking about your breath right now. Your reptilian brain controls your breath. Google it. It's real. Google magic, ladies and gentlemen. That's Dan Cook. Shout out Dan Cook. Like rough around the edges if you want to laugh. It's on YouTube or something. But my point is, this is good stuff. Tragedy plus time equals comedy. And I want to be able to laugh about this one day and say, remember when, we were just freaking sleeping? And I'm always like, you want to wake somebody up, say, go to sleep. You don't wake up somebody by saying, wake up. They're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? So that's what I'm talking about, like the fish and water. And I'm trying to stick to the facts. I'm trying to stick to the point. Just the control, just basically, there's few people trying to control everybody. Supposedly, those few people are being controlled by maybe because it's like 50% of our atmosphere is outer space, right? So it's like maybe they're aliens. There's good aliens or bad aliens. And it's like obviously the good aliens are just watching us, and they're not gonna let us run with scissors anymore and blow our to smithereens with bombs. So be cool. And then like there's bad aliens that supposedly like they've been in control of us for thousands of years, and like the reptilians and all this good stuff. And I don't give any freaking power to them because it's evil. It's all bad. It's just like not here, right? It's like if you don't want to be there, don't be there. Even if it can be literally part of you, and just like how, I don't know, maybe it's neutrinos or something, but just your energy, your faith, and just the higher power, everything from the worst to the fucking best. Like I said, God made everything, and he made even the worst of everything, even the things that were gonna, like for instance, God made the devil. Like if you want to take this blueprint into it, right? God made the devil, and the devil fell, but God knew that he was gonna fall. So it's like he washes his dishes, so everything is like fucking perfect, right? Like excuse me, like so that's how I think about it. So I'm just like, you're just like, I'll be looking at the devil and be like, bro, you're just God's proxy. Like, you just be washing his dishes. Like, my man doesn't wash his dishes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's going on over here, right? So that's how I look at it. Be comfortable in your five senses, hone into your stuff, be who it is that who be blah, 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 like, you can see clearly now the rain has gone. So it's like just all this stuff, like learn about everything, how it works, the good, the bad, and just like balance your stuff out. And like, let me just go into my notes here. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. So basically, like, what's really dangerous is, like, for instance, like love, unity, all this, like all the people that have been killed, like they just like they preach good stuff. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, John Lennon, all these good people. I hope I'm next because I want to be one of those good people, and even if it means the end of my life, good. You know what I mean? And maybe that's why I can do more. I would love to do exorcisms in the future. Like this is my dreams, right? Like I would love to like have like fat companies and like crypto and housing and real estate and all that good stuff and merch and all my brands and everything, right? And just do exorcisms and just like fucking feed people everywhere around the world and try to like do some Tony Robbins shit. Like Tony Robbins can sustainably across all of his companies, there's like 57 companies, he can sustainably feed people for like, he's doing big stuff if you look into that, right? So that's really dangerous, is when it's like you tell people it's like live, laugh, love, like, we don't really need a sign for that. But my point is like, you gotta like just, and sometimes I look at a bad person and just be like, and it's just their part. It's like the part of the balance. So you gotta like, there's good in the bad sometimes, and then there's bad in the good. It's like recognize that total field of balance. Build your own brand. Do whatever it is you gotta do. So it's like, all right. So my point, like Kanye West came out here, started talking about big media, right? And like big media, and that's when I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you know, you gotta put it back up, da da da, this and that, and control. And he was talking about like money. We're gonna get into that a little bit because money is like, you know, you I believe the real wars going on right now are between the centralized and the decentralized. We like there's a bar from a rapper, I forget who, for those of you who know, it's like they, you know, they're god damn, what do you say, um the whole country at war, but we don't even know what for because we only want more. I was like, man. And it's like, it's true, man. So like, yeah, I was talking about the media. You went into like, you know, crazy world. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, like I'm just like, whoa, like, come on, man. How you gonna say you like Hitler? And then that's where I stopped. And I was like, I don't know. But that's where I would come in with the like, I love Jewish people, right? But I hate Zionists, especially like Rothschild Zionists and all these other, you know, like straight up, right? Like right here. Like if I send your proxies, like, you know, you ain't gonna be a big buzz out here because it's, you know, you don't want to get embarrassed. And it's like, my point is it's all love, baby. Like Lincoln said, you got to turn your enemies into your friends, and I'm gonna do that. Whether, you know, I'm not gonna have filters. And I know we're gonna bump heads somewhere because it's like you can't, you just live your life, you know. And obviously, like, you know, one has to have some sort of filters. I'm not gonna, yeah, you there, you know, let's go, you know. But my point is like, you know, be respectful, you know. So, and you know, we all have we all have a place here. You know, this place is big enough for all of us, and we can live amongst ourselves, you know, make shit better, you know. And I'm telling you guys what to do, you know. So my point is, Ye was talking about that, and manifest destiny, for instance, is straight up genocide. It is. Manifest destiny is genocide. When America came over here and they went from the 13 colonies and they started migrating all the way, like just pushed to the West Coast, killed a bunch of Indians till this day. Like they're mistreating the people. And these are the things that, like, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you can't talk about that. Like, you know, so like there's plenty of that going around. In Brazil and Israel are a lot alike, and they're apartheid ways. We had apartheid, you know, like the racism and all that, like people were separated. Like for instance, I just saw a doc, like whatever, like I, you know, basically my point is like, what I learned is somebody from jail is like 50 years back, like in society, like such segregated and like, you know, everything, like it's crazy, right? So, and that's like, people say it's like, you want to like see a society or whatever, like is look at like, you know, their jail. So it's like, that's what's going on. So what else was Jay was talking about? So, you know, just, and I'm not saying I like, you know, I'm endorsing Ye, or, you know, I'm just trying to support him. Cause it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, damn, like, I don't want to like just judge him or anything like that. But I'm just like, you know, like, cause I mean, I've said some shit, like crazy shit, but I've never, you know, like I, by all means, like, you know, I know Hitler is bad. I know, Jewish people, like all the people, like, you know, Mexican people, like Chinese people, all kinds of people, right? Like there's good and the bad. You know, I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not pointing fingers and telling you like they are bad and they're good and they're, you know, like vice versa and anything like that. I'm just telling you like, know the good and the bad. There are Jewish, you can talk to Jewish people like from Israel, from all over the world, people from all over, from everywhere. And the people who know will tell you that even people in Israel are against Zionist, and Zionism is not good. Like Rothschild Zionism is not good. Like, you know, like Mr. David Icke said, this is the thing that, you know, you don't say, and I'm gonna freaking say it. And when I say these things, I want to give respect to karma, to the balance, to the good in every side. So maybe from, you know, the highest point that created everything, the good and the bad and everything, what it's like can be on my side, you know? It's like I'm just here to teach you. I'm just here to tell you what it is I know about this world, and how I view the world, the whole world, right? And how I think it works. And maybe you might, because when I hear the truth, it rings. It's a different tone. From I think it was Illegal Tender. It was like, this is like, you know, a lot of bad people sound cool and like make sense, but it's just like, you know, it's crazy, right? Like, you know, he was like, basically, if, you know, stupid people can quote Socrates and all that, but like when you're smart, eso se escucha, you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe you can hear the truth like that and it'd be cool, you know, it'd be good, it'll teach you, it'll you know, you can run with it. And for instance, I've learned in psychology, I learned that like there are base thoughts that we stack other things, and when it comes into like play and there's like the it just falls down in Jenga. It's like, you know, we resist, and we're like, no, this is the truth. It's like, so you gotta, don't be afraid to start from scratch. I love starting from scratch, you know what I mean? We have to learn how to decode reality. We're made out of atoms. I'm gonna get into all of this, right? I'm gonna read off all everything I have here, so I, you know, can kind of like, you know, try to like dive into it, like, you know. So we're just made mostly out of atoms, and you know, we think with electricity, like, I'm gonna get into it because it's like, I'm gonna be like, it's too much, right? So we have to learn how to decode reality. We're made out of atoms. We're made mostly of water. We think with electricity. You know, our cells are like liquid crystals, taking and giving out information. We are points of attention. This is all good stuff from David Icke. We have five senses, obviously. Our reality is an immense field of possibilities and infinite dimensions and infinite, like everything like that you can possibly think of. Like it's like a infinite fractal holographic reality. Like look at all these things up. If you know what I mean. Like learn, please. And you know, love is infinite consciousness. Love is everything. It's a love hate thing with love, but I love love. But you know, love can hurt you. Like I always say, we are all going to die, but no one needs to have their heart broken. And that's in good and bad. I wouldn't wish a heartbreak on any good or evil person, because I don't want anybody to go through that. You understand me? That's just my balance. We're limited by our ignorance, by our senses, by a lot of things, but we are unlimited. Where do we come from? What do we like when we go to sleep? What are we, computers? We just like go to sleep and we're just like not anywhere. Like we always have to be somewhere. This is what I was talking about. How like since you were born till you die, like from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, these are all cycles that we're in. And I don't have it all figured out, obviously. Like my boy Buddha, you know, he was just like, I ain't gonna move until I figure shit out, right? He's just like under a tree, and he must have like died and gone through like all those cycles, and met like with like the worst of the worst, and he was just like, what's going on, man? Like who's gonna be your witness? And he was just like, Earth, man. He just became whole. That's the story, you know, in a nutshell. And he was able to like experience everything that he wanted to do, come back as like everything, right? Come back, he had a whole bunch of lives, right? And all we know is that we have this life and we're experiencing it, and we're here. At the end of the day, I'm always like, Adam and Eve better not have belly buttons, man. Someone's gonna have some splaining to do if Adam and Eve have belly buttons. Supposedly it's like they're the first humans, right? So, you know, free will society is just like, you know, it's like, damn, like everything's perfect. Like, what if this is just like the Free Guy, Truman Show type of like, you know, situation? Like, who knows, right? Like, but you know, it's cool, right? I like it so far, right? It's like we're hamsters on a wheel. Like, this is why I say brand up, do your own thing, like, have your own company. How much does it take for you to work for a specific company? Like if it's like, like a pharmaceutical or whatever, like you need a lot. But if you want to create one of those companies, you just need some money. You just, do what it is that you got to do. And you'll have that company. But freedom, that's like another illusion. Like even if you own your own house, you got to pay property taxes, all that. Like David Icke calls it the perception deception, and that's pretty cool. And I'm gonna dive into this way more, but I just want to like make a good chunk of video for you guys to kind of like because I've been silent for a while, I've been dormant, and you boys getting paid for this, like no regrets, I didn't want to make a video, so I was like, man, I was like, so my point is just like try to like inform you on all the disinformation, I would never try to disinform you, even if you're bad, if you're evil, I would be like, yeah, man, whatever, like. Just don't play with me, like, it's like that's the only, but I would never try to disinform anybody, like, cool. Like I always say there are legal gangs, and I'm kind of like a dotting around right now, but it's like make the bigger picture, please. There are legal gangs and there are illegal gangs, and you'd be surprised where the money comes from, and that's true. I've said that with cops, for like a superior next to him, and like I look over and it's like superior's like, it's like, what the hell is that going on? So it's like, and I shit you not, like I'd rather save up for apartments and rob people illegally than be an illegal, robber, like just sticking people up with a gun. It's the same damn thing. I don't want to pay for rent. No one wants to pay for rent. The whole world is in debt to who? Mars? Like Mars was like, we got you, fam. We're 100 trillion. I don't know what the numbers are. Like that's another thing. That's why I talk about like the real war going on is between the decentralized and the centralized system, because it's like money. I'm gonna get into that in another video, but I really wanted to like generalize the whole thing and like talk about what the media and the control. And I want to get to these notes real quick, and then I'm gonna come back to the dive in more on the media and what like Ye was talking about on like from, because I'm sure like there's a lot of things that he said after, like when he had the black mask on. Like what if it wasn't even him, right? It was like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Who knows? That's why I say be strong. Know you're hone into your senses, because it's like, even if you're not the strongest person physically, like you can lift up like half a ton, right? But it's, for instance, I've seen a less stronger person take over a stronger person because they were just like, it's a different kind of strength, like you can bodybuild or you can be strong, and it's just a fortitude that is from within. It's the power, like, it's like the force is strong with you. Like all the movies of good and bad, like it's a lot of dramatization. I haven't seen like antimatter weapons and all this crazy stuff, like all this crazy things that we haven't seen, right? But for instance, like the GPS is 50 years back from when the first time it even came out to like the public, just to pinpoint a mother, to smithereens. Almost everything is just military stuff that 50, 60 years later makes it. Like, who knows when drones were created? Like freaking 80 years ago, probably. We're in 2023. Drones were created probably like 80, 90 years ago. Like I'm sticking like 20, 30 years, on there, but like, damn near, man, I wish Nikola Tesla's bloodline took over instead of these, butt nuggets over here charging us for electricity and life. We gotta, I hated this system, and it's a good hate. You can't use that against me. It's a freaking love that I hate, but I've learned to balance it out. It's part of my balance, my yin and yang, my black and white. And who wants to unless you own all the money in the world, Who wants to pay for rent? Who wants to do any of this? It's a hamster wheel. If we all have our own YouTube channels, this is not in my notes, but I'm just like trying to keep this. If we all had our own YouTube channels, it wouldn't be a pyramid. It'd be just everybody has YouTube channels, and I mean the only people that would come up would be Google, you know. So we have to like just really like watch who we put power behind. You see what I'm saying? And this is why, you know, the dollar, this, everybody has their own, you know, every country has their own currency. Everybody has their own, there's a lot of currencies in the world, the dollar, the yen, everything, right? The euro. But like at the end of the day, like thousands of years ago, like there was gold, it was this, it was that, it was stuff. Everybody was like bartering money. It's like credit is not real. I'm going to, you know, this is bigger topics I'm going to dive into, like into videos, but like, you know, good stuff like that is just like, and this is like, you know, this is supposedly like the whole thing, like how it works, right? Like how the world works. And, you know, if you know, you brand up, you do your own thing. Look at Elon Musk. I hope he's, at the end of the day, he's a good guy. I hope he's not an evil guy. And he's pretty freaking cool. He's helping everybody out, you know, doing his thug thizzle, doing his thing, respectfully. And, you know, I like the guy. Like Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they are fooled. If you set the rules, you set the standard. If I keep telling you something, you're gonna believe it's true. You know, I could tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. You do the math, right? We've spent thousands of billions on war, and yet it takes only like 200 billion or so to eradicate, or like million, right? It doesn't take that much. Like even Elon Musk, if you saw the article, it was like, he was like, yeah, I could take like 20 billion or like less, or just feed the whole world, you know. There is a red tape that no money can cross. And I hope to cross it, God willing. You know, I would love to do exorcisms. Like I would love to drive NASCAR. I would love to lay my life on the line, you know, like, I mean, it's just for what I love to do, not for like, for instance, like if I was Jesus, for instance, I'd be like, you want to what? The guy said he wanted to crucify me, bread for everybody, right? But maybe he didn't die. Maybe they just put a couple holes in him, they leave him there. 3 days later, like, you know, or hours later, they took him down, you know, and then he resuscitated. Who knows? There's good, there's bad, there's stories, there's books, there's this, there's that. We are here. We're made mostly out of water. We think with electricity. We have 5 senses. I love gay people. I'm balanced, right? 50-50. It's a love-hate thing because it confuses a lot of people that are not ready and open-minded to just be like, you know, you got to follow your dreams, you know, because I always say if you hate, judge, you know, it's just because, like, you know, deep down, maybe, maybe it's like, you know, that's where you are, you know. So it's like you got to watch out what you hate, what you judge, what you do, all that bullshit. Because I, for one, love haters, and I have a fat portfolio of them because they give you power. You have to watch out what you hate and all that good stuff. The yin and yang, right? There's a yin and yang. There's the balance. There's everything. And then there's like the Pac-Man effect where you come through one door and you come out the other. It's like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like those are a couple of like, I talk about this in High Alchemist, but my point is, it's part of who we are, our essential, like in the Matrix, right? When that dude was like doing God knows what, I need to figure that out. And he was like sending energy to the females, like whoop, and just all of a sudden she just like got up, went to the bathroom, and just like, I was just like, I don't know what he did right there, but I'm trying to do all that. I'm not saying I've done that because it's like that, you know, it's just like, I'm not saying it's like type, but man, for instance, like let's stick to the facts. If females are working at a workplace, there's like 5 of them, and they're cool. There's a couple of them that are cool. Like let's say 2 or 3 of them are cool, right? Those 3 females will literally sync up in their menstrual cycle. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. Like imagine if dudes like just all like that's some crazy stuff, man. I'm not saying we have like cycles. I'm just saying like I don't know, like it's maybe it's like Sixth Sense. It's like it's a higher power, man. It's like pH4 in Lucy when we all have to build bones in this vacuum of reality. That's some real. I don't know if it's like the facts or not, like the names and everything, but like that's some real stuff. Like I don't know if it's CPH4, but my point is like we have to do that. It takes a lot of energy. It is maybe some like some if you look at the movie Lucy, like and stuff like that, like it's like sacred geometry. We're one egg, and this is where everyone comes from. One egg, and it's like 2, and it like multiplies, and it's like holographic reality, baby. We were building bones in our mothers, and we're coming up out this bitch like only in America. But my point is, that's the beauty of life, man. That's why I'm always like, Adam and Eve better not have belly buttons, man, because it's like that's the story. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Chickens came first, man. Somebody just plopped the chicken down and said, boom, have some eggs. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. So our 5 cents, and what I was saying is so like gay people took the visual representation of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the rainbow. That's all you can see in all the colors are made of just the rainbow, right? It's the rainbow's in the middle, and there's like a mountain. Yeah, I saw this in school. Like I don't know if you've seen like the electromagnetic spectrum from like the mountain to like freaking like everything, like the forces of nature, right? Like that's like the Hulk. Like I'm not saying like there's real, you can turn into the Hulk, but it's crazy, papa. For instance, I believe in obviously electro radiation, all that. Like it's chemo, it's straight up radiation, like cures you while killing you. I'd rather take CBD. So these people are brilliant and took that as their flag, right? When I say these people, I see LGBTQ and like there's like I'm not up to date. There's too many. There's too many. No, I'm not ready for all that. You got to Google it, and like it's one love. Like I said, man, I'm balanced. And you have to realize what makes us human. And it's like all of this, what drives us, and it's like Lucy, you know what I mean? Like you got to turn it up to 100. You got to watch that movie. It's like it's dramatization. It's a movie. It's this and that. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's just, how life works, and we build bones in our mothers, and we came up. I was C-section, but it's a beautiful process, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. And who knows if Adam and Eve had belly buttons? That's always like mind boggling. I'm just like, damn, like they better not have, man. And so it's all of that, and it's crazy, but you need to push through all that, through transcend, through all the good and the bad, to like I don't know, like even then I'm like still trying to keep going, because it's like once you have it figured out, you got to take 10 steps back and look at it again, because you don't have it figured out until this is over, until my life is over, until I'm not in my body and I'm out of my 5 senses and I'm like somewhere else, I don't know where. Then I'll be like I don't know what's going on, right? So it's just like, what's going on? What the hell was that? I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Did Adam and Eve have belly buttons, right? Like, why is there good? Why is there bad? So this is the stuff I think about, and like let's dive into other stuff. for instance, what, like, sticking to the topic more of like the media, and because this video is like, what like what kind of, like, like, just a little bit about everything type, but like mostly like the media and like what, yeah, because I promised you guys that I was gonna learn you about this stuff, and like I said, not all Israeli people are Zionists. Not all American people are evil for basically genociding a whole bunch of Indian people and coming to the West Coast and making this whole country whole, and all that stuff. We got to look at that. We got to look at that. So it's like, it's just humans, man. Like, we're good, we're bad, we're balanced. We're trying to balance our stuff out. We're just trying to do the best that we can do. And with that being said, that's like the media. And hopefully, I mean, I know there's a lot of good in the media, but then I know there's a lot of bad. And sadly but truly, the percentage of bad is way up, and that's what I don't like. But these are just the few that I was speaking about that have no power. Like I said, I give no power to all the manifestations of said, entities, that have no power over me, like, so with that being said, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get into all the videos of like, High Alchemist. I'm gonna like, because and for instance, like back into the notes, they took billions from Russia after they attacked Ukraine, yet nobody took money from the U.S. after Iraq was attacked, a country that had, and excuse me if I'm wrong, or like whatever, like, and excuse me if I'm like, if you get like, if you're a good person, you got your shit balanced, but then like, you judge, you do this, that, and you're feeling some type of way, I'm sorry. If you're evil, and I don't care, me vale verga, is what we say in Spanish. So with that being said, it's like what the hell, like, a country that had almost nothing to do with 9/11, like weapons of mass destruction, right? Like we needed to attack somebody after 9/11 to feel better. It's like we had more business in like other countries. I'm gonna say it. We had more business in Saudi Arabia than we had in, but we can't do that, right? Like I always say, if the Grove out here in California, the Grove out here in California, and it's like supposedly like a little camp for like the big boys, the ladies, like wearing tutus and todo eso, the what that's right? I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. And if you don't know, now you know. But as you know, and if you don't know, I'm telling you right now, it's like California, a lot of it's been burning down and this and that, and it is, this is like basically like a lot of people, I've seen a couple of things, and you can look into this, like it's it's kind of true. Like a lot of parts of the world, they're like, what's going on? Like, we have Tinder literally, and we don't have crazy raging fires like you do. What's going on in California? What's going on in America, right? Like, because I'm like, what the hell, right? And God forbid the Grove tries to burn down, someone tries to burn down the Grove, a lightning bolt, God tries to burn it down, they'd be like, attention all firefighters, like, so stuff like that, so we would never let that happen, for instance. And I'm going to go a little crazy here, obviously there's a lot of people that have been in respect to life and respect to everything. And like I said, if you're good, I'm sorry, but if you're evil, it's like, if you get offended, like, forget you, right? But there's a lot of people that have been murdered, being killed, and by police and this and that, and that's crazy, that's bad, that's like, I get it, but my point is, in America, They would never kill directly for protesting. They would never let that happen. Like in Iran. We're the ones that need to be freed from the Federal Reserve, not Iran. Iran has their own Federal Reserve. If you look at pictures of the Middle East, a lot of places in the world in the 70s, and you look at perpetual war, like facts, this country has been at war for 200 years, like for no reason, you know? I'm from Mexico. I came over here. I love this country. I love Mexico. I can do dual citizenship and all that good stuff. And if I, you know, it's the love of just the just being here. You know what I mean? If I came from, I'm sure I'm a pretty weird individual. I'm sure I'd probably have the same aspects, and I would like have to pop out my head from another part of the world if I were to manifest in another part of the world, right? But it's just like, it's just differences, man. It's this taboo. Like, what's cool here? Like, I can burp at a table in an Arabian culture that's like, damn, the food was good. But in America, it's like, oh my God, like, how dare you? It's these weird things, man. We're all human. We're all here. We're on Earth. You know, if you look back far enough, from the good to the bad, everything was just in that on that speck on Earth. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, and I know, talking about these things, it's like, it's like, whoa, but what if they took, like, we attacked Iraq, right? The United States attacked Iraq. What if the dollar went down like 30 or 40%? We'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Who has that power, right? There's a lot of things that we would question, right? So this information is real, and we're willing to give up freedoms for our securities, for instance, through the Patriot Act, right? And this is like hindering on our enlightenment. From chemtrails. They're not chemtrails. They're just for weather purposes. To binary on freeways. It's not binary. It just looks nice. To fluoride in your toothpaste. It doesn't calcify your pineal gland. It's just good for your teeth. Genetically modified organisms in corn, in everything. Fake food. Fake news. And I'm not saying it like Trump or a Democrat, like a Republican or a Democrat or Republican, right? Like, I'm just saying it like, what is you, and it's like you have to pass through all of these steps, or one or two, or I don't, so you I hope you get what I'm trying to tell you. It's like you have to like go through it all, you have to go down a rabbit hole to figure it out. Enlightenment is not a nice process. It is a very destructive process. I've always said that this isn't the end of the world. This is the beginning of a new one. But if you're looking at it like it's like the end of the world, it's because you're part of the old. Like I'm looking at it like it's a new world, basically. It ain't no new world order, like anything like that, like illuminati, blah 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 bullshit. No, it is definitely, like, for instance, like 2012, the Baktuns and the time and the Mayans and everything. Like, it's Inuits from Alaska have said this. The world is changing. It's cycles. It's like day and night. It's what happens. Life and death. We're all going to die one day. But like I was saying, I believe in Darwinism and in like evolution. And I know it's the same thing. And the creation and Darwinism, because time is very weird. Like 7 days for God is like trillion, like, like time is weird. You can go from Sydney, Australia to LAX, or from LAX to Sydney, Australia. It's like you lose a day, and it's like 16 hours, and it's like you get there 2 days later. It's a weird thing, man, the international date line and space and time. And I want to dive into it more in future videos. And we have to realize the illusion that we are in the five senses, the electromagnetic spectrum. You can't get lost in any of these things. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Ignorance is bliss, but one has to realize, a certain amount of things. I'm trying to keep it general so you can grasp what I'm trying to say. The world is being manipulated. It's disinformation, subliminal messaging. But who is manipulating it, right? Like, like you got to figure it out, and I don't really want to point names and do this, but I want to tell you, everything around, so you can basically figure it out for yourself. And, with all this disinformation and how the media works and how, the big media, the big corporations, big religion, big, governments and all that, like, why does the Vatican have half a trillion, like $500 billion, and they can't cure hunger with like a little bit? Why can't they sell half of their estate and just cure the world of hunger, even if for a couple of years, right? You think they're like, whatever, right? We don't need any of this. They're like sitting lavish. And some would say it's because we have a lot of children to feed and a lot of people in the world, but it's like, what the hell? Like, people have come through in like short amount of time, and they've done, and you're just like, what the heck? And you don't want to like compare and contrast, because it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on, man, let's do more, and the world, let's talk about the world, like, as it, like how what it is. Like, it's not, like I said, it's not solid. It's like a holographic multiverse that we're living in. It's infinite consciousness. It's just an infinite amount of, like, I gotta know one day when I'm out of here, man. It's like everything can be possible. You, whatever it is that you want to do, you can put your mind to it, you can do it. Obviously you're not going to turn into a flying pig, but maybe in your next life, you can go to another universe where there may be, and like I said, it's like, you can literally be, what you want to be, something attainable. You got to do it. Practice makes perfect. If you practice, that makes perfect. Maybe that'll mean you're perfect one day. Maybe, I don't know. So, so it's like, the beauty is like that I don't know. Sometimes it's way easier saying I don't know than pretending, that. So, I just learned that a couple days ago, and it's true, and it's not like I've been doing the opposite, but, it's like, oh, that is true, when you hear it, and, so we don't have, at the same time, empty space between us, even though there's like 99.9% space, right? Everything is like electromagnetic. It's like energy. Everything is energy. That's why I'm saying, hone into yourself, be, like, set in stone, but at the same time, like, like water, like, like Jet Li said, be water, and we are like water. Like, if you were driving in traffic, and traffic on your right lane is like stopped, and then this side is like fast, I call that the guillotine waterfall. Like, if this right here is like stopped and this is going extremely fast, if you make a move, it's like choo, so it's a river, and if you look at traffic, I always make fun of it. I'm like, the dumbest river I've ever seen. Imagine if we actually behaved like water droplets, like in a river, like the flows that we do, like, and I get it, but then, like, damn, son, So we, like I said, we don't have empty space between us. It's electromagnetic, energetic waveforms in the metaphysical universe. Everything is information. The color, everything, like the circuit boards, all that good stuff, like the trees, everything looks the same, right? Like the veins and the filaments, like I said earlier, in the outer space. Um, um, what good stuff do I got written down here? Out of sight, out of mind. People walking on hot coals don't get burned. Have you seen this? If you can tune pain out, you can walk on hot coals. I've never seen it for myself, but that's like some stuff like that. People be like, yeah, I've heard of that. That's pretty good. It's true. In India, supposedly, like, if you, like, people levitate, like, you sit there and meditate to a certain point, you're just levitating. That's crazy, man. That's like flight. That's flight. You flying. That's ducking butts. So it's like, what else? Like all these chemicals. I've said this, like aspartame is another good one. Like so many things, man. Like one of my favorite comedians died from, like, his drinking too much sodas. You got aspartame. I bet you got him. But shout out George Carlin. I love you. You got to keep your pineal gland detoxified. You got to do good. I'm not saying, like, it's like, just be happy. Know that everything is energy and atoms, and just convert it to freaking energy. You know what I mean? Like, just, you don't even got to work out. Just be aware of your joints right here, from like where your joints, and just like, just be, just high frequencies, vibration, love, consciousness, everything, everything and nothing at the same time. Like, that's the beauty of, like, Buddhism, for instance. Like, even if you might not like, even if you're from another religion, this and that, it's like the good and the bad. Like, it's just period, point blank, good and bad. Jesus died. Whole bunch of religions, were created from, like, all the religions under Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? From Catholics to Christians to the Protestants to this to that. From Russia to the Philippines, there's Orthodox to, so it's a weird world we're living in. There's the Quran, there's the Bible, there's all types of books. I love all the good ones, none of the bad stuff, man. You understand where I'm coming from? That it's just, you got to go down a rabbit hole, and if you don't go down a rabbit hole, if you don't grab onto a string, you're never going to find the sweater, because you got to find a little string and then be like, well, where does this lead? And then it's like, all of a sudden you're just like, you're like, wait a minute, this is a big ass sweater, so stuff like that. I feel like I'm talking your ear off. I don't want to talk too much about it. I feel like, I kind of like honed into everything. Maybe I'm forgetting something, maybe I'm not. I got to watch this video over again and just, like, talk, like I said, more about, individual things and make individual videos. And but I just wanted to come through. I'm being paid for this video. I love y'all for supporting your boy. Please subscribe, like, comment down below. If you have any questions, make another account, anonymous. I will answer it for you, and it, if you feel like I've missed something, if you feel like I didn't talk about something, if you want me to talk about something, for instance, like, I gotta do it. If I don't want to do it, I ain't gonna do it. Like, like, oh, but my point is, if I like it, I will indulge. I will talk about it. For instance, you're like, talk more about, like, I don't know, like, like a lot of high alchemist stuff. Like, I'm gonna go look at all my videos and just, like, dissect it even further and make and expand, so I appreciate you guys. Yeah, crazy, man. I want to take a moment to just, like, talk about what is going on. At the end of the day, I mean, I want to support him, but he's just, like, too out there, man. He's crazy. Like I say, like, talking about, like, he likes, like, I mean, maybe this is, like, like, disinformation, but like, I don't know, God knows, right? God willing. Like, I want to meet him. Like, I would love to meet him and just like really dive into like where he is, like what's going on in his mind. Like, you can judge, you can say this, you can say that, you can do, there's a, like, when something happens and you can be like, man, if I would have done this, if I would have done that, it's like, shut your bitch ass up and keep going, And honestly, that's probably what I would say to yeah, like, if like, I don't know him, like, respect, and but like, that, that's all I'm gonna say. That's crazy, man. And I'm not saying he's crazy. I'm just saying the whole situation is crazy, man. I mean, I don't think he should have got taken down. The George Floyd comment definitely wasn't that bad. This other stuff, I think, was no, shade towards anybody, and for any whatever, right? We're all trying to, like I said, hone into our senses and what's going on, because we all have our own stories and we're going through our own things, and shoot, man, like, but my boy made some waves and he was talking about, you know Jewish people, and I'm like, not all Jewish people are Rothschild Zionists. And he was talking about the media, and I'm like, not all media is evil, but at the same time, it's like, because there's a lot of people that work in the media, and it's like a lot of good people, but there's said few, right? You got to know, you got to be able to, like, hone into that and really freaking dissect that out of everything that it tries to possess. The bad, all the evil that it tries to possess the good, and all this other stuff, and whatnot, and so, and then he, like, he posted that, they took that video down, of Drink Champs, and I was just like, damn, and and I was just like, whoa. I'm like, all right, man. I stopped listening to him. I literally, I only saw the video of him on Drink Champs that they took down, and then I didn't see the one that he had, like, the black mask. I'm like, man, I don't even know if it was him. I'm just like, I'm not, and in the future I might watch, more, probably got taken down, it's not even up anymore, but it's cray cray, man. That's all I can say, man. I'm just like, what the F, and not to his defense, but then, like, to try to make sense what he's talking about, I'm just like, nah, you don't say that. But like, I would never say that. Like, I like Hitler. Like, no, who says these things? Like, Hitler obviously was a terrible person that killed a whole bunch of people. Like, he was like, from what I learned in school, this is what I'm saying. From what I learned in school, it's like, dude was terrible. He's genocide, right? But we don't learn. I want to point this out. Like, I want to emphasize this part. We don't learn that manifest destiny is its own version of genocide. And I want you to realize that we don't treat Indians right. And this is, I think it's funny, but dots, not feathers. Excuse me if that's racist, but I heard that and I was just like laughing. And I love Indian people from America, and I love Indian people from India, because it's all love. But it's just like our cultural differences sometimes, man. It's just like, god damn it, we're different, right? But it's all love, man. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. And I was just like, I saw this guy. He was just like, yeah, I mean, he's like, Kanye, man. He was like, he even had the Arabs. I was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, when he said that, I was like, oh. I mean, I don't know what that means, but I kind of know what that means. You know what I mean? It's like love for everybody, love for every single country in this world, all the good people, none of the bad. Forget y'all. Just know thy difference between the good and the bad. And like, and like I said, I stopped listening, and I was just like, but so I can't really, like, say anything else on the further of what's going on over there. But when that's where I tie myself in, because I was just like, what? And I was like, I gotta let y'all know, like, it's not like, it's these people, that's what I feel like. And if I'm wrong, maybe it's like, but I'm not that far off. It's just like, what about, I hope it makes sense. I hope I've helped you out a little bit. Um, and yeah, man, like I'm, like I said, I'm gonna dive into it way more. I'm like talking about the same thing over and over again, but I just don't want to. I feel like this is the end of the video, so I'm gonna say peace out, and I'm gonna get, if I forget about something, I'm gonna get into it later down the line, man. Please check it out, subscribe. When I say check it out, like check out, like, my channel, like everything, the truth, the balance, the don't be afraid to follow the rabbit hole, and just like do all that good due diligence, do your diligence, and you'll be good, man. You'll be good, trust me, man. If you don't trust me, trust somebody else, but trust somebody. And like, that's how you get up, man. That's how you learn. I learned from David Icke. I learned from all the good people in the world, like, the obvious ones like Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Buddha, all the, good people, my mom, my dad, my uncle, all the good people, my aunt, I can literally name everybody, like everyone in the world, like from our life, from our, like the environment that we've been in, from life to death to, it's the cycles, man. It's just, it's crazy. You gotta figure it out, and it is what it is, man. And you have to just keep on going, man. I wish you energy, especially, if you deserve it. And this is God's balance, man. I always say I give out one frequency, and if you're good, it helps, and if you're bad, it doesn't help. I leave it up to God, man. you know, and he doesn't wash his own dishes, and shoot, just don't take no BS, but then, don't be out there BSing, you know. So appreciate y'all. One love. I'm back on this mother. I'm getting paid. I'm monetized. It's lit. Subscribe, like, comment down below if you haven't done so already. Like I said, let me know. Like, don't, go on an anonymous account, just like, post whatever, like, be like, hey man, tell me about this, tell me about that, man. Because it's good for my channel. It's good for my content. And if I like it, I'm gonna comment something definitely, but if I really like it, like, I'll make a video about it, I'll talk about it, you'll so it's lit, man. I appreciate all my subscribers, all the people, that have been rocking with me since day one until the end, man. It's lit, man. So, I'm happy, and I'm balanced, and I'm set, man. And I'm gonna take it all with me when I die, and it's not physical, and I don't know what it is, So I'm definitely taking it all with me when I die. And it's not money, it's not physical, but it is, but it's not. You understand? Like, I don't even understand. So, it's one love, man, for everything, and one balance. And Adam and Eve better not have belly buttons. Chicken came first. Appreciate y'all. Deuce.